Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who we are the Radio Twins, and this is the Radio Twins Experience. And here we interview individuals that we all know and find interesting, and everybody else should know who they are as well. If you want to always catch out our radio show, you can always catch it Saturdays at 3 p.m. All you got to do is go to TheRaydioTwins.com, and then if you ever want to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, we're on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. What's the other ones? TikTok.
I can talk now?
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh, and if you want to check us out, just go to TheRaydioTwins.com.
Yeah, that's TheRaydioTwins.com.
And if you ever want to check out our apparel line, you can always go to BornToWinStore.com, and that's on the same page. The Radio Twins is BORN, the number 2 WINSTORE.com. There you'll find t-shirts, hats, socks, you name it, you'll find it there.
Right.
Now, as we were saying, since this is the Radio Twins Experience, our podcast, you want to check it out. Tonight, nothing changes. We try to catch up with a lot of them are busy too. We try to catch up with a lot of individuals who are doing some interesting things, and nothing changes because this particular person, he does very interesting things. He's a DJ. He's good at his craft. As you can see, he's in his office right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who he is, DJ Bmore. What's up, man?
Appreciate y'all, man.
What's good? So I guess most people want to know, including us, like, how did you get started? What made you say, you know what?
This is what I want to do. Right. Music is what I want to do.
Right.
Well, I'm going to say it first started in middle school. You know, my brother was a popular DJ at the time. He actually won a battle down to Paradise and all that stuff. So, like when he was getting into the DJ and stuff, I used to always play alongside of him. So he kind of showed me what to do as far as the DJing thing go. And then, you know, fellas, good brothers like DJ Gemini at 93.9, brothers like DJ King Freeman, you know what I'm saying? Brothers like good brother Guy and Dame Capers, you know what I mean? All the fellas used to show me a thing or two for real. Then eventually I was doing parties after a while.
Definitely.
Then, you know, my brother, he stopped DJing and stuff, so we kind of stopped all the DJing. And then next thing you know, I kind of picked up a love for the artistry side of things, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like I didn't just try to like do either the two. It's just kind of, it was just around me, so I just kind of gravitated to it because I always did like music anyway.
Right. Was it difficult to learn, or was it just something that's like, okay,
you picked it up in a couple seconds?
See, I came up in like playing football, basketball, and baseball. So you know what I mean? To pick up on things for me is kind of easy. I kind of pick up on things quicker than the average person, for real. Ooh. So, you know, and then I was already observing them before I even touched the turntables. You know, I was watching what all them was doing. You know what I mean? You got Gemini in the mix. You got my brother C Money. You know what I mean? You got King Freeman. You know what I mean? Murderland. If you know from back in the day, all them little Murderland records and all that. That was him. So, you know what I mean? Brothers like Dan Capers, J Money, you know what I mean? Fellas like that. It's like, man, it's crazy. Like Al Scratch and DJ Casper, you know what I mean? The whole conglomerate, you know what I mean? Brothers.
What made you say, at what age were you when you said, you know what, I'm going to really take this seriously?
What was it, about like 12, 13?
Whoa.
Like 12, 13, I did something at the school first. Then, you know, my brother ended up going to the service after that. So, you know what I mean? He still was getting calls about parties. So, you know what I mean? I said, man, you know what? I'm about to snatch one of these things.
Right.
The phone, like, you know what I mean? I might not quite be a C Money, but I guarantee you I rock your party for real. So, after Wild Words started getting around, oh, yeah, his little brother can hold it down. You know what I mean? So, I took to it from there.
What made, like, when your first party, your first official party, what went through your mind? I know you were nervous.
Oh, hell yeah, because back then it was crates and records and all that. You know what I mean? The 12, 10s, you might have had one 12, 10, one BD 10, whatever the situation was. But like you had to know all the records. It wasn't like today where everything is just digital. You can see all the BPMs and all that stuff. You actually had to like push the records and all that. So it was way different then. what they doing, what we doing now. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier when you got sync buttons and all that type of stuff. Whereas though back in the day, you had to adjust the tempo and all that stuff, push the brackets, all type of stuff for real. So it was big different.
So after your first time you ever did it, did more come after that like quickly, or did it just take some time for people to say, oh, well, I think I know who he is. Yeah, I think we might want to book him.
See, it actually started coming quickly because, you know what I mean, who my brother was at the time already. So people just put two and two together. Like, he might not be here, but his little brother can hold it down. Mm-hmm. You know, well, I ain't going to pay him when I pay C money, but I'll give him a little something for a young dude. I'm like, I'll take that all day for real. You know what I mean? Young dude, you ain't getting for so much bread, you know? Right. You outside with it.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So it was cool.
So when you started doing what you do now, was it difficult to adapt to, I guess, the music that you were listening to, especially when you try to blend one record with another record?
Is it difficult? I don't think so, because when you know the music, it's kind of easier to put it together. Now, if you don't know the music, like you just only listen to the stuff that you listen to, and that's it. You don't ever go out, you don't ever hear different things, then it'll be harder. But if you know the music, once you kind of put the tempos together, then it's kind of easy to navigate from there. So I would say it was more difficult with the music. And doing music to me is just like, it's easy for real. You know what I mean?
How did you get into creating your own, meaning your own sound, your own vibe when it comes to DJing?
Now, as far as when it comes to, like, I'm just so comfortable with it now. Like, I've been doing it since a little kid, so it's just like I'm kind of thinking my artist bag sometimes when I DJ, and sometimes I'm thinking in the DJ bag. So the whole night I'm kind of going back and forth, like, what would I want to hear if I was at the party? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So I kind of flip flop back and forth, you know, from the artistry to the DJ, just like I do now, for real.
What was your first record that, in your mind, and not even just your mind, but just in general, that people was like, wait a minute, who is this guy?
And it's gonna set the party off,
right?
As far as my music or somebody else's music?
Your music.
As far as my music, I would say it's like an old record of mine that was it was sampled at William Devon, Be Thankful for What You Got. So it was called Diamond in the Back. You know what I mean? I was rapping a story about when my cousin let me hold his whip, and I just was drunk, wilding out, you know what I mean? Just having a good night for real. And a lot of people took to it. Next thing you know, all the little house parties and stuff around the way, they was bumping it. And like, man, you really need to take this serious. I'm like, for a long time, I never did take the music serious, but I just enjoyed doing it for real.
One thing that I think that a lot of DJs, in order for you as a DJ and most other DJs, they take music in any genre seriously. What do you think about most of the music that is I guess created nowadays, as opposed to what a lot of what's in your record rack now?
See, because the music today, I think it's came a long way as far as like the production side of things, as far as the clarity of the vocals and stuff like that. And it is some artists who even took lyricism to another level, but as far as the whole lyricism, yes, you know what I mean? I like a lot of it personally because, you know, I just feel like a lot of them just being their self, and that's what I respect the most. That's what I do when I do my music. I just talk things from my perspective, what I've been through, things I've seen around me. So, you know what I mean? I respect anybody who doing it. It's an art doing it, you know what I mean? So
when you created your music, and when I tell you people, he has a lot of music that a lot of y'all probably sleeping on. Like, for instance, She's a Twerker, even though it's a few years old.
Yeah, so shout out to Triggerholics Nation. They made that thing go viral. You know? First of all, how did you create that particular song? How did the idea come up of it? The song just came about. Me and my big cuz, shout out to Reese Gamble. That's formerly at LMS, the group LMS had the record Pure Necessities back in the day that was hitting the radio and all that good stuff, you know what I mean? So we was just wilding out one time, having a good time, and then we just end up just recording the record, just having fun for real.
And what about the song "Play Like a Raven"?
Now, Play Like a Raven, you know, I love my Ravens. Football was my number one sport, you know what I'm saying? So since the Ravens hit town, that been my squad, you know what I mean? And I'm riding with them, even if they was 0-17, you know what I'm saying? That's my squad, you know what I mean? So I just kind of made it like just Ravens ain't never really had no like theme song. It always turned 98 rockish when our squad ain't that type of squad. We more rugged and gutter. Like, don't nobody want all that's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I try to do something different for them, you know what I mean? Give them something that's outside the norm, what they really be handing in the stadium, because I know it kind of be distracting them a little bit sometimes. Like that ain't the type of music you can see Lamar Jackson bumping. That ain't the type of music you probably see Odell bumping. That ain't it. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Shout out to 98 Ride for riding with the squad. But y'all gotta show that Play Like a Raven some love, man. Stop playing.
They come on. Tell them. The only one knows if somebody say something.
Right. You know? Sure enough.
What makes you as a DJ different from
anybody that's out there right now?
Right.
Because I do it my way. You know, I come from the old school Africa DJing, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't just dropping the record and just pressing a bunch of effects and all that stuff. I rock a party, just all the songs coincide with each other, one song right out the next, you know what I mean? So I just kind of, and then I be having fun. I've had fun doing it. So, you know what I mean? That's another plus with it, man. I really enjoy doing it. I always did since a kid.
And we noticed that you're in your office.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the same office. Shout out. I gotta shout this brother out. You know what I mean? Brother Uche, because Brother Uche is the one who definitely introduced us off the top. This is the same office where we did our live that one time. You know what I mean? We got a little too turned, but you know what I mean? Shout out to my brother. Brother Uche, man, love you, my brother, man. He done a lot to help me over the years. You know what I mean? Gave a lot of good advice, all that good stuff. Man.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Johnny. What's up, man? What's good? What's
good? Blaze. What up, Blaze? What up, big bro?
I'll be aware of this, but that's our cousin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know. Yes, sir. That's family.
When the pandemic started, how did you get through it? And I'm sure you used a lot of your music to do that.
Man, to be honest, when the pandemic started, it seemed like that's when I started making my comeback on the DJing tip for real. Like, because, you know, everybody was stuck in the crib, they bored. So, you know what I mean? A couple people might have called me just, hey, you think you could do this little small house party for me? I got you. You know what I mean? I'm there. You know, people were scared to come outside. I was outside. You know what I mean? And the whole time, thankfully, I ain't get the vid. You know what I mean? So that's a blessing. You know what I mean? Man, that's why you see even if you look at my computer, where I got all my information and everything, I still got the picture with the mask on there because that's from that time because I was still getting it in.
Definitely.
Asking up and hitting them streets.
Definitely. What's out of all of this that you've done, what's the best thing about DJing to you?
Just to make whoever's putting the events together happy, whether it be the birthday person, whether it's the promoter, whether it's with just to see that everybody in the crowd enjoy themselves, to see that they happy, you know what I mean? To see like when everybody walking out busted, all that, you know what I mean? It just make you feel good inside to know like without you playing that music that you was playing, it wouldn't have been that type of vibe, you know what I mean? So I get joy out of making people happy with my craft.
Now, with the flip side to that would be, what's the one pet peeve, the one thing that irks you? Right. You don't have to name any names. Just like, what's the one thing about DJing that just burns you up? Like when you're DJing a party or something.
I'm had to say, like I be unfazed, but it do bother me in the back of my mind sometimes when somebody just come with a request that's like a whole nother tempo than the tempo you was on. Like you got the party going, everybody rocking to that tempo. You might have played like 10 songs back to back. They all on the same tempo. Everybody rocking, and somebody want to come with something that's a whole nother tempo that's just going to throw the whole party off.
And it's just like that. What do you do when someone does come up and says, I want you to play this record? Do you ignore them? Do you try to say, hey, I'll get to that a little bit later? How do you vibe with that?
But that would take them out of your realm. Like it would take you out of your
see, it depends. It depends. Because sometimes they might request one of them records that's a whole nother tempo, but you know that joint gonna rock. So you can easily counter with it with some other songs behind it that's gonna rock just as much. Like, you know what I mean? I got my little folder set up and everything. So sometimes they might give a request that's like, all right, yo, that's a whole different tempo. You kind of blowing me, but I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because I know that'll keep the party going. That's what type of vibe they on. You know what I'm
so
saying?
does it make you sharper, or does it like really throw you off your game? You know what I'm saying? Because most from what I know, most DJs are literally like, oh crap, and then it kind of throws you off. But does that kind of, you're already thinking ahead. So when they come with that record that you know is going to throw everything off, does it make you sharper, or does it kind of stagnate you a little bit?
It makes me sharper because if they just giving a record that's a whole nother tempo, you wasn't ready for it the first time, you ain't gonna know what records to play after. But after it happened a few times, it's like, all right, now I got plenty of records to counter with these possible requests. So you kind of know what songs people might possibly request if you ain't played it. Sometimes they come to request a song, you already got it on cue sometimes. So like I think it make me better, you know what I mean? But because you learn how to fight through any situation when it comes to the DJ.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, man. Who knows? Sky's the limit, man. Because things been picking up crazy with the DJing. I've kind of been more locked into that. I look up at my music streams. I had like 5.2 million streams out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's
ain't no telling what might transpire the next week. Life might push me back in the artistry. My life might push me back into producing. Life might push me back in the videography. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. You videography? You do that too?
Yeah, with all the Shabazz brothers buys and stuff behind the scenes. I used to be the one putting the videos together for that.
Okay, like you do like the whole gambit. You do everything.
Everything, because like just me being an artist, me being a DJ and all that stuff, it's like doing all the things I do. It was always times where I needed people to step in and do certain things and they couldn't get it done. So after a while, I'm gonna teach myself, because I ain't gonna be sitting around waiting on nobody. When opportunities is out there and moves need to be made, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it,
Right.
So I just started teaching myself other things. But videography, I took a videography class when I was in high school. I took 2 years of that. So that's where I get that experience from. I've been doing that since high school. We used to just take the camera and hit the hallways, hit all the lunches, you know what I mean?
That's good, because it adds to your repertoire of whatever it is that, like you said, if nobody else can do it, at least you can do it.
Right.
And it adds to all of your music. So if you have an idea of already what you visually want to see and create. And then on top of that, people will say, well, who did it? And then you say, well, I did. And then next thing you know, this comes.
There you go. Right. A lot of people don't know all my posts on my page and stuff. I'll be putting all of them together myself.
Man, and pretty much we just seen the majority of them, and good, actually very good. So if you don't see a lot of his stuff, you need to check a lot of his stuff. And I guess towards the end of the interview, we'll let you know exactly where you can find a lot of his music.
Right.
So and I gotta ask this, by you, as far as you being a DJ, what's the funniest thing that ever happened to you while you were DJing?
Funniest thing? Because I don't know, sometimes it get unfunny up there. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, you might have a speaker blow or something like that. That's funny.
Right.
As DJ, the funniest thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Now, as you're working, I guess, do you plan on, because I see that of course you're in your office. Do you plan on adding to what you already have, or no, or just like right there's, I'm content with it. Let me build on what I have so far.
Oh no, I'm definitely adding to. I'm gonna definitely, you know what I mean, upgrade things as things go along. You know what I mean? Like it's got a new set of 1200s, the old school ones. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna get all the little supplies I need to make them work. I might hook up all 4 of them. You know what I mean? So I got some ideas running through my head. I ain't just gonna be content because I've never just been a content type of person. Life is always changing, so we always got to change with things. You know what I mean?
Regardless if this person is with us or not, is there a specific anybody superstar that you would love to work with that you just see, no matter what it is, that person you would definitely want to work with?
Like as far as all the industry stuff, I ain't big on all that. You know what I mean? Like I treat guys like regular people. I had a couple industry artists get upset with me because I didn't treat them like royalty, and I'm like, what was happening? Like, I don't care nothing about that, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I would rather look forward to like doing the record with Smash that we talked about before he passed. You know what I mean? Doing a record with like Scooter or something if he was it. You know what I mean? Something like that.
And a lot of people don't realize, but I think in May of that year that he was killed, I did a quick interview with him, mm-hmm. Which I still have audio. I'll eventually. But I think with heroes like that, people who could lyrically go. I mean, I'm not saying that none of them, the ones that live in the day, we still have in Baltimore City, and I think Baltimore has a lot of talent.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Whether it's videography, whether it's DJing, whether it's acting, we have a lot of talent. Right. I just wish the world would see more of it. Mm-hmm. Like we see it.
Right.
The thing is, I ain't gonna say too much, but when it come to like things as far as the world setting and all that stuff, a lot of times when it comes to every city and state, you got your certain gatekeepers. You know what I mean? That industry personnel is going to come holler at. So if they're not in tune with the community per se at that time, they're really not going to know who's who and what's what. Right. So it's kind of like other people are getting thrown out there who probably really shouldn't have been the ones, but they end up being the ones. So it's like,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Now, crazy. We have this thing where we call it it's almost like a fill in the blank, but we call it the winning question. Meaning, but not even the winning statement, meaning you fill in the blank it's nothing crazy. We give you the statement and then you fill in the blank. All right?
Cool.
I could never have predicted.
I could have never predicted COVID.
Nobody could have.
I don't think. Yeah. Glad to be here, though.
That was wild. Now, is it pertaining to music or musical? I could have never predicted.
Either or, whatever
even
first pops to your mind.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, as far as music, I could have never predicted what's happening with Diddy right now.
Exactly.
So the happiness is.
You say happiness is?
Yeah.
Happiness is being happy enough with yourself to be able to make yourself happy and everyone else around you.
That's what's up.
I don't think we've ever heard that one. I
like that.
That's cool. That's a big one right there. I like that.
Absolutely. Because you could be the happiest person in the world by yourself, but if you got all miserable people around you, like at the while, it's going to turn you unhappy. So you gotta have that vibrant energy so strong to the point where as though even a mad person come around you like, man, come on, yo.
Right.
Like, that's why you always see me smiling. I didn't think I was gonna make it to 17. I didn't think I was gonna make it to 18. I didn't think I was gonna make it to 21. I didn't think I was gonna make it to 25, and so on. So you know what I mean? Just to make it past all them milestones, I'm a smile. every day, bro.
And
like I ain't letting up on.
If the world could just see it the way you just explained it,
Right.
If
That's
believe
me.
me, I feel you, because most people don't think that way, and when they don't think that way, a lot of them will
Get lost
in the sauce and don't, they're here to tell it,
Right.
know? So that's good. You will never regret.
I will never regret none of the mistakes I made in life, because through all the losses, it made me stronger. It gave me more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So I won't regret any of the choices I made. Like even the ones I did make, like that probably wasn't the best decision, but it was meant to happen. That's the way God planned it. So I can't regret anything of God's plan.
That's what's
right. But you wish you might have had.
I wish I might have had more money to reach more people in the Baltimore community. You know what I mean? And more in the area, because it's like that's the only way that Baltimoreans is going to listen to you for real. You know what I mean? Like if you ain't the dope man, you ain't charged up, you ain't got that bread, they ain't trying to really hear you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like behind the scenes, I've done so much for the city that the world would never know. You know what I mean? Just because I'm not the guy like out here with the chains on Bentleys and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Even though I own 2 Benzes before and stuff like so, I've been all right before, but I seen the difference when I was all right, of how the impact I had aside when I was just trying to do the legal thing is a big difference. So I just wish I had enough legal money to just like change the area that I know in the way that I know I could for real. And in the way that I know I am going to eventually.
Mm-hmm. The biggest risk I ever took was?
The biggest risk I ever took was just actually believing in myself enough to ever get on the turntables, to believe in myself enough to ever record a song, to believe in myself enough to ever produce a record, to believe in myself enough to say, look, I'm gonna teach myself how to engineer today, to believe in myself enough to do videography, all that good stuff, man. Just to believe in myself enough to do things, because there's a lot of people you'll come across and they just keep talking and talking. We got had like 50 business meetings and all that stuff. Like I'm a doer, I ain't no talker. So I'm just thankful that I believed enough in myself to, actually go for what I need to go for when I need to go for.
All right. I hope people will remember me most for.
I hope people will remember me most for the good I put out in the world. You know what I mean? Like I believe every person has good and bad in them. You know what I mean? Everybody can be bad in their own way. Everybody can be good in their own way. But I just hope that when I leave, my good outweighs the bad, which I know it is, because that's the way I live my life. When I was younger, I was kind of more on the borderline. You know what I mean? I might have done a little more bad, but once I got older, got a little wiser. So that I try to get more good in the world.
Definitely. So, wanted to get in contact with you or catch your music, how would they find you on social media, and where would they find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram or any platform, Bmore Ben at Bmore Ben. You can find me on any streaming platform, Bmore Ben. Type it in, it'll come in, you know what I mean? Whether it's Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, Pandora, YouTube, definitely. You know what I mean? Even TikTok, you can use the music in your stories, all that good stuff. You can catch me on there, Bmore Ben. Everything kind of simple, brother. Bmore Ben, everything. Facebook, Bmore Ben. Twitter, Bmore Ben. Everything is simple, bro.
That's cool. What's up. That's what's up. If you wanted to throw out some shout outs, who would they be?
Man, if I want to throw out some shout outs, forgive me if I forget any names, because I got my good brothers with me, you know what I mean? Shout out to Mr. Livewire. Shout out to the boy Bless, Dame Capers, C Money, Elder Mac, Brother E, Spence Money, you know what I mean? Brother Ross, you know what I mean? Core Connections. Make sure y'all check him out, you know what I mean? We working with the kids with the boss and all that. Him, Shout out to Gladiator, Jeff McCullough. You know what I mean? We 4-0 on the boxing tip. Right. You know what I mean? Shout out to sheesh, man. I got shout out to my sister. My sister Reese, you know what I mean, and brother Kev, you know what I mean. Check them out. They got Hicks cuts, you know what I mean, on Harford Road. Make sure y'all check them out. Y'all need y'all wig did, y'all need a good shape up or haircut, you know, that tighten you up.
Yeah.
Geez, man, the list goes, man. Shout out to my baby London, you know what I mean. Shout out to Kendall, shout out to Ash, you know what I mean. Shout out to man.
Uche.
Shout out to brother Uche again. See, I was trying not to shout him. I already shouted him out once. You know, I went OD. Shout out to brother Uche. Shout out to Lulu. You know what I mean? Shout out to DJ Gemini again. Shout out to DJ King Freeman. Scratch Gaia. You know, because if it wasn't for brother Gaia, I'd have never did the rapping method. So brother Gaia, he in Africa now, but he was here, you know what I mean? He got deported up. But man, that brother was the guy who first pressed the record button for me on the rap tip. So that, man, forever respect, forever love with that brother. Shout out to Reese Gamble. You know what I mean? That's another brother was a big influence behind me rapping. Shout out to, you know, Banger Bill, K Mac. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother Treso. You know what I mean? Shout out to Spotty Rock. You know what I mean? Gage, Azalitos. Man, I can go on. I don't want to kill the rest of the show with all these shout outs. Gotta keep going. Love y'all. If I forgot y'all, love y'all. Yo, my bad.
Well, our thing is more of we got to shout out, and that's you. And that's my thing is, first of all, we want to thank you for taking the time out to be interviewed. Because a lot of people don't, which is cool, you know. It is what it is, but we're building something, and like I said, we always find or come across people who are doing interesting things, and you do a lot of interesting things that we think that the world should know about. So
because if you can do it, somebody else can too.
Exactly, and we appreciate that. And not only do we appreciate that, we appreciate you coming to be interviewed by us.
Right.
Thanks.
We thank y'all, and I'm tripping because I didn't do this on the shout out. But man, shout out to the Radio Twins, man. Be on here, man. Brothers, they always supported. Like they was a big part of that It's All Love campaign. When It's All Love got playlisted on 92Q, they was a big help. They was there for the video. They was there, you know what I mean, every step of the way. I always appreciate y'all brothers always, man.
Thank you.
Man, real talk.
Yes, sir. Keep putting out the stuff that people want to hear and doing what you do in the community. And again, we appreciate you for coming on the show.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Who he is.
You better get to know.
Thank you. And this is what we call the Radio Twins experience. Again, he is DJ Bmore Ben. If you don't know him, get to know him. If you don't know his music, listen to it. If you don't see his stuff, watch it. He's already told you where. And again, thank you, Bmore Ben.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Radio Twins, thank you, my brothers. Appreciate y'all always, man.
All right.
We out. Experience.